It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful. I said I was going to stop saying that. So what? Neighborhood. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Would you be my neighbor? Got to give the people what they want. What up, Buffalo and ATL? Big ATL. I'm coming your way soon. I'll be there this month, sometime this month over in the Atlanta market. Welcome, everybody. You are tuned into the Power to the People show, live and in living color out of the studios of Buffalo into the studios of Atlanta and all over on social media platforms, all over. TikTok, our TikTok is taking.
Yes, it is.
It's taking off. So everything is Power to the People radio show. And if you want to see us live, you can just go right to Power to the People radio show on any of our social media platforms, Facebook or YouTube, and you could see us
TikTok
here.
and Instagram.
So we're live on TikTok too? Mm-hmm. I didn't even know you could do live on TikTok. So I don't know anything about TikTok. So when people stop me and say, I saw you on TikTok, I'm like, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I said, you saw Mark on TikTok.
We everywhere. We everywhere. You gotta follow us. We're everywhere. Like I said, I'm trying to get as much content out there as possible, and it's just stay up to date with us. We try to stay current, and like I said, the reels are just teasers, so you got to see the whole show and follow and share. I want to get our Instagram following up. So if you will follow us on Facebook, just go on to Instagram and give us a follow too, and subscribe on YouTube. So help us out.
Help us out. Help us to get this information out. I got so much to talk about today. One of the things that we're going to talk about, the big topic, is about this whole vaccine, whether to vaccine or not vaccinate, and and adults are one thing, but we're going to talk about whether children should have to vaccinate who are in school. We're going to talk about what Florida is doing and what some other areas are doing. Let me tell you something. This man is the gift that keeps on giving. Today, he may sign, if he hasn't done it already, an executive order to change the Department of Defense into the Department of War. This man wants a war so bad.
Yeah.
He wants a war so very bad.
Now, a lot of us, and I'll put myself in this, and I don't know if you can clarify, because I don't remember when it was changed, but I don't think people might be like, well, what's the big deal? The Department of War had a completely different mission than Department of Defense.
Absolutely.
And the biggest thing that I can remember in my little peanut brain of history is Department of War was big on draft. Mm-hmm. So if you were confused on what they trying to do, like you said, going to war, that draft might be coming back. So this is bigger than just a name change.
Yeah, it really is. And the fact that everything is executive order. Yeah. Now, the question is that some are asking is, can he legally do it? Now, George Washington, this name has been changed since George Washington. Then again, we're not in war.
No.
But it's like he's teasing that he kind of he's like the bully on the playground.
Yeah.
And so if you don't get along with me, and then this week, China did their parade. Now, let me tell you this. Now, you compare China's parade
to ours,
to the United States parade.
Nah.
Our parade looked like, and this is no disrespect to our military because I'm a veteran, and this is to those who organized it and what I felt sorry for our military.
Right.
Because it was poorly planned.
I think they felt sorry for themselves.
Yeah, they were walking around like chewing gum. Like, I'm going to come here with my beard and I ain't going to iron my uniform. China had a parade that was so, if you don't follow news, you can go on YouTube and put in China plus military parade. And when I say that, I was watching it like it was my favorite parade. Everybody knows who knows me. It's the Macy's Thanksgiving parade.
Right.
I
me too.
Gotta watch it. Gotta see it. Gotta have my breakfast.
It's a part of tradition. You have to.
Part of tradition.
Yeah.
When I tell you I was watching this like the thing, when I say whatever, I'm like, when did they have time to practice? What the heck? So he had, is it North Korea's president?
Yes.
And he had another president. Basically, people who do not like the United States.
Right.
And definitely don't like Trump. Oh, Russian.
Oh.
Russia. Yeah, Vladimir Putin. All of them were there and walking like, what's up?
Hey,
like you to the bully, what's up?
And I was getting ready to say, and the interesting thing about all of those is all of those countries have their own military parade. So Russia does it, North Korea does it, where the plane is being dragged, and it's a spectacle. It's a sight to see.
Bruh, and they brought out new stuff that we don't even have.
Wow.
Basically to say, mess with us.
Try us if you want to.
Jump.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, I wouldn't be the first one to jump. Because
Not at all.
what happened is you have two superpowers and then just one that will do anything. He had his young daughter with him. They talking about she's next to take over because it ain't no real voting.
No.
It's a family dynasty. It is definitely a communist country. Unashamedly communist country.
Unashamed.
But they all got together like, all right, you want to be big man? You want to be big man on campus? I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm going to invite the head of Russia,
Yep.
who you're supposed to be working on a peace deal
Allegedly.
with. Allegedly.
Yeah.
And Russia just said, I think yesterday, something to the effect of, oh, Ukraine really doesn't want peace. Let me translate. We ain't going to stop. We're not, because even when we talk peace, but Ukraine's president met with, I'm trying to remember, I want to say France's president.
Right, yeah. He's been meeting with some European allies.
Yeah, so he meeting with the smooth ones.
Yeah.
Now look at this, the dichotomy, if you will. Russia over here meeting with other
Dictators.
There you go. Like, yo, we gonna hang out.
Right.
And then Trump got mad.
Yep.
And he goes on social media and says something like, "Oh, look," not quoting,
right,
but something to the effect of, "Oh, look at them all getting together so that they could go against the United States." It made me think of the playground.
Oh, absolutely.
When your enemies get together and start walking around the playground together, because that's what happened this week. Yep. The enemies got together and said, oh, you think you in control? We're about to show you. You want to put all these tariffs? And then all of a sudden, it's announced that we're coming into an agreement with China on the tariffs. Because now Trump is like, you want some of my lunch? Because that's what I feel like we on the plate. You want some of my lunch? Here, China, you could take some of my lunch and you be friends with me again. Don't be friends with them. Don't be friends with them.
Absolutely.
This is like it's like the schoolyard.
It is.
And the guy who was allowed to be the bully and nobody checked him on it, and now you have individuals going, that's okay. We'll get together and we'll show you.
Yeah, when you go 3-on-1 and you start to feel real small, and I always say, I'm very patriotic, so proud American, and but we also have to remember we're still the baby power. We're still the baby nation. Russia, China, all of them ancient. Like they've been doing this a long time. We not even 300 years old.
Absolutely.
and some of what we do is still part of a great experiment. They got centuries practicing communism and monarchyism and all these other authoritative, they're used to that. We're 300 years in, and we're still trying to figure it out.
Absolutely. Let me go to some local news. Let me just say this to our Atlanta audience. Tonight will be the last, 2 days ago, the last final 8 p.m. sunset in Atlanta.
I know.
Until next year.
I know. I think ours was like a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
starting to get dark early, and then once that daylight savings time kick in, I want to get rid of forget daylight savings time, except for the fact that, well, no, like our schools that start at 6 is still dark outside.
It's still dark. And honestly, it's not it's really a government ploy, but that's just a different story. Because if you remember, President Bush changed the date in the early 2000s for energy companies. So it's not like it's not something scientific based that we're getting an extra day. No, this was just something they decided. But even though it's sad for the 8 p.m., it is football season, so I'm happy.
I'm not.
I'm happy.
I'm thinking of projects I can do in the house. Online buyers in Metro Atlanta are searching for affordable housing. This is from Axios Atlanta. Anywhere they can find one, even out of the market, a new report shows why it matters. Once affordable areas are becoming out of reach, and some buyers in expensive markets are eyeing cheaper ones instead. In Metro Atlanta, 68% of retailer.com listing views between April and June went to homes located outside of the metro area.
Wow.
That's up 58%. Other shoppers are moving for work or in search of better weather. That's interesting.
Huh.
Insert the real estate portal reports. The big picture in quarter two, an average of 58.9% of retailers.com listing views from the 100 largest U.S. metros went to homes outside the metro where people are now looking. That's up 48% before remote work and cheap mortgages sent droves of home buyers to lower cost areas like Phoenix, Miami, and Charleston, South Carolina.
I can believe all three of those cities. I really can.
I would think Miami would be very high.
Well, honestly, Miami, just got back. Miami, the tourist area is expensive, but most of the other parts is really not. Like, I don't really know because even some of your regular items outside the tourist areas wasn't expensive. So, and I had the privilege of kind of going between the University of Miami and Coral Gables up to Fort Lauderdale. People rave about Fort Lauderdale. When I tell you, Fort Lauderdale looked like a city in the sight of I don't even want to say in Georgia, but it looked like something in the country with just the beach. Like I was like, I'm not impressed. So I can tell that I don't think cost of living is that expensive. So I can see Miami, and as long as you're not in South Beach or downtown, being part of that escape.
I totally agree. I think that, whether it's Buffalo, whether it's Atlanta, housing prices people are now just starting to say like, yo, I can't do this anymore.
No.
And definitely in Metro Miami, I'm not Atlanta, where in Metro Atlanta at one time, especially a middle class could afford.
Right.
It is just, when you look at all these areas, even the outlying areas, and how much, and then with interest, it is very difficult for housing. I bring that up. Orlando. Shucks. Yeah, Orlando has a new housing bus for the unhoused.
Huh.
So it has like little pods where they can sleep. Where it's personalized. It has hygiene facilities. It has a small washer and dryer on it.
Wow.
And a lot of people, because all they see is Disney, think that Orlando does not have a unhome housing crisis. They do.
I believe it.
And they have two streets that were famous for tents and all that. And now the government has said that it's against the law to sleep on the street. So they can be on the street.
Wow.
They can't sleep.
Wow.
So if you're sitting up, you're all right. If you go to sleep, you get arrested.
So you basically have to look like you're a part of society. But if you lay down,
ain't no beds, ain't no putting the pallet out, no tents. They got rid of all that. And where they were staying, and this is the sad part, was right outside of the Mission in downtown Orlando.
Okay.
So they were staying there because they were hoping to get room, but there's always a line to get in. This is a Mission you have to leave come back.
Which we generally see in Buffalo, like
absolutely.
But they got to get out during the day, and then by the sunset, you start to see the line.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we know that across the United States, and this is where I think that unfortunately the Democrats nationally they failed. Because they did not give a plan.
Right.
And we know we have a housing crisis, and that it's tough. Like rent is, I'm telling you, rent. What that man say? The rent is too high, and it really is. So a bus in Orlando that you could sleep on. I think you can get like 20-something people on it. I forgot.
That's still a lot, especially when
Yeah.
you talking pods and personalization. So it just circulates at night for them, so they're not getting in trouble, or is it?
So they can sleep on it. I don't know how they choose who's getting on the bus, but usually, so it's a little overhead, so it's like a bunk bed.
Okay.
But they have like the privacy screens.
Okay.
But it's only so much water a bus is going to hold. So I can't even imagine.
Wow.
I think you build a place, but I think you should build a place and not put all these people. It's called 407 Connect. The project called 407 Connect is a partnership between the city of Orlando and the Christian Service Center for the Homeless. Each bus has 21 beds.
Each bus
has 21 beds.
So that means there's more than one. That means there's more than one. Yeah.
A restroom, and under the bed storage, each bed pod has its own light switch and power outlet. Security will be on board too.
Wow.
So it's an interesting. At least they're doing something. So we can complain about it. They're saying it's a proven solution. They're not the first city to do it. Matter of fact, they got a pair of buses, so they have two.
Okay.
42 homeless shelter beds. So I have no idea. Orlando's new, they call it Dignity buses, offer overnight shelter for the homeless. Each bed, get out of here, ads. Each bed costs just a fraction of what it would cost to jail a person for sleeping on public property. Amen.
That's the crazy part.
Beginning Wednesday, the city of Orlando, and this is a few weeks ago, nonprofit modeled after the Dignity bus in Vero Beach. The city's new bus program will offer no-cost shelter for up to 42 people per night. On two Greyhound buses, the city rehabbed for bought and rehabbed, $175,000. The buses offer individual sleeping pods with mattress, blah, 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 blah.
I mean, that's not bad. When you consider an investment of less than $200,000, one night in the jail or a week in the jail, or if it's a weekend because court is not in session, I'm sure that's for one person, or if you say you take the same 42 people and you lock them all up for a weekend, that is more than $200,000 in cost for them. So hopefully they have routes so you do get to pick up a different set of 42 each night, give everyone a chance to wash their stuff, charge devices, things like that. So like you said, they're doing something. You would like to see maybe something more permanent eventually, but you got to start somewhere. So I think it's still a good idea.
If you were homeless today, where would you sleep?
In my car.
You sleep in your car?
Absolutely.
Would you where would you park?
For many that don't know, because I've lived this life of homelessness, I have slept in shopping center parking lots.
Did you ever get like police pull up?
Oh yeah, I've had police tap on the window saying you can't be here. I've slept. Sometimes I've even slept at my job, or I've slept at I would have a gym membership just so I could shower and sleep out there. So
wow,
yeah, I've lived the life, so I know.
Yeah, it's a real problem all over.
Mm-hmm.
We've been talking about it. We were just having this discussion Sunday after church, and a gentleman who was stopped by, and he was talking about how he thought it was a shame how Buffalo has put up that's been up, right? Like
the fences
No, is that new?
Their state DOT just really started.
So it's the state.
Yes,
let's put out the right information.
It's the state that's been doing it for the last couple years because of the amount of complaints. And so the city isn't doing it. The state is doing it for safety reasons. So,
well, this is interesting with the buses. I don't know if you heard about this. Democrats are pushing back against Trump administration denying food access to LGBTQ plus children and youth.
Wow.
So basically, let me tell you what has happened.
Wow.
Very quietly, the Trump administration, and I got all my facts here, made a decision to remove anti-discrimination against LGBTQ plus children and youth in schools included.
Wow.
So here's the basic thing. There was a directive basically that said you cannot hold food away from children because they're gay. I'm not going to use all the because they're gay or because they're transgender. You can't hold school. Now they can.
That's crazy.
So if a school decides, and let me read y'all the facts so you don't think I'm making it up.
That's crazy.
The USDA issued new guidance in July of 2025 that repeals prior Biden-era protections against discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity in federally funded child nutrition programs.
Wow.
Including SNAP, SBD, NSLP, and similar anti-hunger programs. This also goes to if a food pantry is receiving federal money or something like that, that pantry can now say, we are not servicing you because of your orientation.
Okay, so I'm just going to jump right in. This is where I have a problem because we know a lot of this is driven, and I'm just going to call it out, by the white evangelical church. And if we are supposed to still be Christian and God-fearing, to treat any human, whatever the orientation is, to not even be able to give them basic necessities,
no food.
I can't.
They have the option.
I can't stomach it.
If a school, and this is what I looked up all of. Okay, how could this really impact? So let me read it to you. School-based inclusion, because I asked the question, how could this impact? A school could refuse lunch or breakfast to students who are openly LGBTQ plus or who are perceived as gender nonconforming without fear of federal investigation or penalty for such discrimination. So if it occurs and the lunch lady says to Ronald, I don't like the fact you got on the skirt. Right. I'm not serving. Ronald now has no place to go and file a complaint.
Or no place to get food. He can't even eat that.
LGBTQ plus students could be denied free or reduced price meal benefits if administrators claim, quote, discipline, dress code, or behavior violations that are in reality rooted in prejudice. Schools might ignore bullying and harassment in cafeterias, making these students feel unsafe, deterring them from accessing meals. When you start now listen, because if it could happen with this population,
yep, here it comes.
It could happen with whatever, the immigrant population. You can't. These protections were put into place in order to make our society a society that takes care of each other.
Right.
I wanted to use the word same, but that's not the word I'm looking for. I'm looking for a different word. So at the end of the day, this happens so quietly.
Right.
And this is why I keep saying it is so important that we have news agencies that are really concentrating on real news. I'm going to say it again, and I found an article about, I just had so many things about, the press all over the United States. And it being watered down, and things closing, some of the major news outlets closing. We're being lulled to sleep here.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm going to say it again. I know I'm going to keep saying it until somebody hears. I am sick of getting on platforms that I pay for to provide me the news.
Yep.
And the first thing is about Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
You got 3 articles about the Buffalo Bills. But we ain't getting this type of news.
No.
We're not getting the news that will help us to decide how we vote next.
Yeah.
So we got to wait until election time occurs and then hear everybody's stomp speech because we don't know the history of what they've been doing.
Don't know.
Now, I know Congress is back in session. That's not what's going to be on the front page of the news. That's not going to be the lead story, and I'm going to say it until somebody listens. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
And when the only thing we get is about entertainment, because let's be honest, sports is entertainment.
Yes.
You can attack me if you want. I don't care.
No, absolutely.
It's entertainment.
Absolutely.
So let me keep you entertained.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I ain't knocking the Bills. I'm a Bills fan. I'm Bills Mafia. Point is, I don't get a dime from the Buffalo Bills.
No. Not one.
Buffalo Bills ain't helping feed my kids. Buffalo Bills are not taking care of the housing problem. But so it's not the disrespect to the Buffalo Bills. It is, I'm talking about the reporting and what we're being fed. So you got to I had to dig.
Yeah.
For story, I can't go to regular stuff, our papers, our news, and really understand what's happening in world events because we are being lulled to sleep by many of our local news agencies.
I agree, and we've been seeing this, and more we're going to end up on that government-controlled media, and again. Trump, going back to the playground model, Trump sees these other world powers and world leaders, and it's like, oh, y'all can do that. I want to do that. And all we're doing is now modeling communist media, and it's sad. And like you said, we're lulled to sleep. We're living in if you're not in control, you just throw your hands up and be like, I don't know what else to do.
Right.
But we're also now. The way this government experiment was set up is the people were supposed to control because of what we experienced with the Church of England and the royal family and England. But when the people get frustrated and stop voting, stop caring, and then we get what we get. And I even heard it was Roland Martin put up something, and he was saying all leaders, but he was saying especially black leaders. He said if we get to an age where we can't fight anymore, we have to step aside. Yeah, we have to step aside and let someone who can carry the baton run and fight, because if not, then we just get handed and dealt what we're dealt. And like you said, and then everyone just be like, nothing's going to change, and we just sit at the wheel and take whatever we get.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know, we got to pay the bills. We're going to get ready to pay the bills. When we come back, ousted CDC chief warns that RFK Jr. is politicizing public health, and Florida is making a decision to end childhood vaccine requirements. We're going to talk about that when we come back.
When it comes to something as personal as your clothes, you need to deal with somebody you can trust. That's why so many people turn to Hobson's Dry Cleaning, conveniently located in the heart of the community at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming.
When you take your clothes to Hobson's, you can trust that they'll be ready on time.
You can trust that your whites will be white.
You can trust that you'll always get a fair price and service with a smile.
You can even trust that you won't have to get out of your car if you don't want to. Hobson's has a drive-through window for your convenience.
Trust is what it's all about at Hobson's Dry Cleaning.
Hobson's Dry Cleaning, your one-stop dry cleaners serving the community for over 30 years at 874 East Delavan at the corner of Wyoming. Call 891-8298. That's 891-8298.
You hear it in the background. RFK Jr., what a failure in appointments. You take a guy and you put him over the health of the United States who is not a healthcare professional.
Nope.
I'd have rather them put a CNA. A CNA.
No disrespect to CNA.
No, but the CNA, matter of fact, it's a boost to them.
Right.
It's a compliment to them.
Yeah.
A CNA would do better at the CDC than Robert Kennedy, because at least a CNA is around health care.
I agree.
You put this man in.
Yep.
All right, so he fires Dr. Susan Manaras. He fires her because what he said, and I'm going to let you hear a little bit of this guy, trying not to use, anyway, because I'm starting this series called Before You Crash Out.
Yeah.
And the more I study for the series, the more stuff happens that makes me want to crash out. I'll talk about that at the end.
That's how it works.
So he fires her, and he said in the Senate hearing, don't quote me, but this is basically because he asked her if she was trustworthy, if she could be trusted, and she said no. I just wanted to say, you lie. I don't believe you.
No.
I don't believe you. So now she has gone on the defense and wrote that in an editorial published in the Wall Street Journal. She wrote that Kennedy's move to replace the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, which makes suggestions about who should get certain vaccines, risk ignoring science in favor of ideology. She quotes, or I quote her, "Once trusted experts are removed and advisory bodies are stacked, the results are predetermined. This isn't reform, it's sabotage." And in the comments, tell me on social media, tell me whether you believe that vaccines for children should be, because we're going to get to that, should be mandatory. Tell me in the comments. So she was abruptly fired after just 29 days on the job. And she described a meeting with Kennedy on August 25th in which she was told to pre-approve recommendations from the new panel he set up. There's not even been a meeting of the vaccine panel yet.
Wow.
This is unaliving in the making.
Yep.
Quote, "One of the troubling directives from that meeting more than a week ago, I was told to pre-approve the recommendations of a vaccine advisory panel newly filled with people who have publicly expressed anti-vaccine rhetoric," she wrote. Okay, prediction. Kennedy's going to be gone.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's Trump's, when they asked him about it last night, he means well. That's what the man said.
He means well.
He said, "I didn't watch it." How did you not watch? What were you doing? What were you doing, sir? When Kennedy was being grilled on Capitol Hill, what were you doing?
Hold on, I got it.
What? Golf.
I got it.
He says he means well. Meaning well is going to mean death.
Yeah.
Unalive.
Yeah.
For some people.
Yep.
They asked him about, do you believe that, this many people died during COVID? And he was like, I don't know. And they were like, really?
Wow.
Let's listen to a little bit, not much, of the testimony. This is from PBS NewsHour, so it's no commentary on it, just straight what he said. Let's go to it.
Necessary adjustments to restore the agency to its role as the world's gold standard public health agency with the central mission of protecting Americans from infectious disease. CDC failed that responsibility, pensions failed to do anything about the disease itself.
Do you believe COVID-19
This is a Republican.
was politicized?
Yeah, the whole process was politicized. Senator, we were lied to about everything. We were lied to about natural immunity. We were lied to about, we were told again and again the vaccines would prevent transmission, they'd prevent infection. It wasn't true.
Let me fast forward.
Free and accessible to parents today in America who have the freedom to be able to make that choice for their children. Will that be true after your handpicked panel makes their judgments about these vaccines?
I think that parents should be free to...
I know you said that before. I do too.
To make their own choices.
So will they be just as free after these...
I assume they will be.
I will hold you to that, Secretary Kennedy.
Phenomenal.
Let me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Wait,
that was a statement.
I did not say that.
Okay, then let me ask, because you also...
Senator, I just want to make clear, I did not say that.
We'll check the record. That's a question of fact. You also said that you were also, as lead attorney for the Children's Health Defense, you engaged in multiple lawsuits attempting to restrict access to the COVID vaccine. Again, it surprises me that...
So, this is why I think he's going to be out. Republicans are now going against him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One Republican is a medical doctor.
Yep.
And I don't think in time that Trump can hold on to this guy.
No.
He's not serious about health.
No.
Angela Prim said he looks and sounds like he is sick. She said he needs to go somewhere. I believe that children should be vaccinated. We were, and I've never had a childhood disease. Don says they should be vaccinated. What do you think?
I think and this is tough, and even, preparing for this topic, if you want to keep your child from something that will only affect them, Godspeed. But if it's a disease that can be spread and take out communities and other children and a whole school, those should still be vaccinated. But if it's just a one-off for you, by all means, you can make that decision.
I totally agree. I think that we have to go back to the history of why vaccines were there in the first place.
Absolutely.
This pandemic that we just went through wasn't the first pandemic.
No.
And if we got people coming from all over the world.
All over.
And right now, you can get the Trump Gold Plan and get you a visa if you got enough money and everything else. You're bringing in, you go to different places, and there's different diseases,
right?
Especially in third world countries.
Yes.
And I think we will see a lot of people unalive.
Yes.
So check this out. And this is one of the fears of one of the Republicans,
right?
Is that this can now translate over to the states. And, of course, we're talking about the states that are Republican run. Now, I just saw online where our governor is doing something to get around all of that.
Right.
I didn't read the article. It just came up. It says Hochul, and this is in the New York Times, so it's the only one that looks like, I'm sure others are reporting, to sign order to get around U.S. limits on COVID vaccine. So big ups to our governor for saying, and I know it's probably going to be behind the paywall. It says Governor, it just walled me out. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York plans to authorize pharmacists to provide the vaccine to almost anyone who wants it without a prescription.
Wow.
So she's trying to get around this thing, thank goodness. Florida, now let's talk about governors. Florida moves to end childhood vaccine requirements. Now, when I saw the brother from Florida, the Surgeon General, talking about slavery, I thought he was going in a different direction.
Right.
Within 2 minutes of listening to this guy who compares slavery to mandatory vaccines, are you friggin' kidding me? Which part of the bed did you wake up on? Because at the end of the day, your skin is still black, bruh.
Yeah.
You somewhere along the line, one of your daughters, granddaughters, maybe the rest of them is bougie and they don't mess with us. One of them gonna get a brother.
Yep.
One of them gonna get a brother. And if you better remember who you are, because folks will let you know who you are sooner or later. You could be Surgeon. When I'm watching him, he said slavery. I'm like, come on, because I got in the middle of the speech.
Right.
So when he said slavery and vaccine, I'm like, come on, preach. And then he said, it's like slavery. I said to myself, you have got to be kidding me. Florida's preparing, according to news outlets. One outlet is rolling out, black outlet. Florida is preparing to become the first state in decades to eliminate childhood vaccine requirements for school requirement, a move that could fundamentally change how the nation approaches preventing infectious diseases among children. Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo announced Wednesday that his department plans to repeal every existing state vaccine requirement, ending mandates that currently protect Florida school children against measles, mumps, chickenpox, polio, and hepatitis.
Yep.
Proposed changes would mark a dramatic departure from public health policies that have been across all 50 states since the 1980s. Currently, no child can enroll in Florida schools without receiving a series of immunizations. Let me tell you this. If I got a kid in public school and this happens in Florida, I give me a night job, and I got to put him either in a private school that believes in it, or got to figure out a homeschool situation or a different situation. Because at the end of the day, if you either have to bury your child because of this policy, first of all, they should sue I'm sure somebody's going to sue the crap out of the state if they move.
Yeah, they're already talking about who's going to sue. So the ones that he can do by himself are the chickenpox, the Hep B, the Hib, and the pneumococcal vaccines. So those he can administratively remove the mandate for. The ones that have to go to the state legislature for were the polio, the measles, the rubella, the whooping cough, mumps, and all of those other ones. But it's just interesting that, like you said, he's a Nigerian American, and what you just perceived is accurate about his family.
Okay,
I looked it up.
I didn't even look it up. But I got a feeling.
Yeah, Brianna. Yeah, we looked it up. I looked it up, and they have their 3 kids. So, but it's
what I tell you.
Yeah, but you categorize this as slavery because you said it's an intrusion on parental rights and bodily autonomy.
Yes.
Just,
yes. So basically saying it's my body, I do what I want when it comes to vaccines. Let's get that.
Yeah.
When it comes to vaccines, it's my body, I do. I get a little confused. I ain't going to go into But right? So
are we pro this or pro that?
When it comes to my body, it's my body when it comes to vaccines, but it ain't my body when it comes to anything else.
And speaking of, and honestly, somebody brought this to my attention, and I said we probably would need to have a woman's perspective on this, but it was a story out of Atlanta about a woman that they kept on life support. I forget what happened, but I don't know if it was a car accident or something, but she was pregnant. She was at 9 weeks, and the hospital didn't consult the family. They kept her on life support until she can give birth because of Georgia's abortion laws.
Wow.
And the mom was like, we're not saying we would have terminated the baby, but you didn't even consult us.
Right.
And then now the baby is struggling. And it's like, and I'm like, it is one of those, like you said, if we're going to say this about the vaccine.
Right. Yeah, I'm confused.
I'm really confused.
I'm so confused. Public health experts warn of dangerous consequences. Medical professionals and public health advocates have expressed serious concerns about the potential impacts of eliminating vaccine requirements. Current immunization programs have prevented millions of cases of serious illness, hospitalization, and, I got to use the word unaliving, among American children over the past 3 decades. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention data shows that routine child vaccinations prevented approximately 508 million cases of illness, 32 million hospitalizations, 1.13 million deaths among children born between 1994 and 23. I'm not going to bore you with it, but let me get to this part. Eliminating these requirements could reverse decades of progress in controlling infectious diseases that once devastated communities. So I agree with you when you talk about, let's take, for instance, the COVID vaccine.
Right.
If you ain't want to take it, like one thing I wasn't going to do in that pulpit, I suggested it.
Right.
Wouldn't make it. I'm not going to come up with Bible on it. I'm not, nope, you an adult. Right. It's going to affect you. You get sick. That's on you. Right. If that's what you want to do. If you did take it, you take it.
Right.
Whatever that. But when it is affecting one of our most vulnerable communities,
yes,
and that is our children.
Yep.
I don't even see. I don't know how. Like this is nothing is going to get done until either the courts.
Yep.
Or until there's a massive unaliving.
Yes. Outbreak.
Of people.
Yeah.
And that's whether we're talking about the National Guard being in place. I said this the other week, whether that's talking about the immunization or whether that's talking about war.
Right.
Because all of these decisions are not leading to life. No. If you've noticed that.
No.
There's no big, beautiful, let's stay alive. Big, beautiful, everything now is big, beautiful out of the White House. But at the end of the day, it's not big and beautiful. No. It's little and it's ugly.
Yes.
It's not big and beautiful. When you have a CDC director, or I'm sorry, the head of the CDC, who said, who the head of, not CDC, but the health.
Yeah.
Who says, oh, no, people shouldn't be forced.
No.
When you have the Surgeon General, I believe he is, of Florida saying, it's like slavery. Yep. This is not big and beautiful. And right now, and I'm like you, I'm a patriot. I'm a patriot.
Yeah.
Also, I have put my life on the line for our country. I believe in the United States of America. I ain't saying it's perfect, but I will say that I have worked my butt off to try to do my little part.
Right.
But in the end, we got people who don't care about our lives.
No.
It seems like.
Right.
So Joanne Lorenzo says, back in the days, kids needed 5 vaccines. Now it's up to 15, except the ones with any study like COVID. I'm not sure of the fact on that, but we reading what you say. Don Trotter, Florida going to be a hotbed of disease. Folks better stay out of Florida. Veronica Bell says, I'm in favor of vaccines. Chandra Thomas says, vaccinations are so needed. I'm just confused of what's happening here.
Yeah, and even when you look at the public reaction, you have public health officials, pediatricians, medical associations are speaking out, especially on the measles, the whooping cough, the polio, and the chickenpox. Medical and education groups, including the American Medical Association, the Florida Education Association, school nurses, all of these people speaking out. And to your point, in case people didn't know, Senator Rick Scott, who's a very prominent Republican, has broken from the governor on his support of this. Who I just want to put this out on the record. He's endorsed this plan and announced the formation of a Make America Healthy Again commission.
Of a great, big, beautiful. Okay, Buffalo News did pick this up. Thank you, Buffalo News. Hochul to see this be making me want to crash out. Because I paid for the Buffalo News. Why did it pull up the
Why are you getting an ad?
I'm getting an ad.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Hochul to issue executive order on vaccines. No, it's telling me I got to sign it. That's because probably my phone signed me out of everything.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but we're going to pay a bill, right? We're going to pay a bill, and we come back. We're going to talk about this series about crashing out. And I want to know what makes you crash out or what lately has made you want to crash out. We're coming back. We're going to pay the commercials.
Brian K. Lewis Funeral Home has 3 locations to serve you in Buffalo. 347 Peckham, 2258 Bailey Avenue, and Providence Memorial Chapel at 1275 Sycamore. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes offers traditional services, and they have services for all faiths. And at Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes, they have air-conditioned parlors and chapels. Financing is available, as is limousine service. At those difficult moments in your life, Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes is available where you are with counseling services. Call toll-free 877-885-7734. That's 877-885-7734. Or locally, 845-5545. Brian K. Lewis Funeral Homes. We are here to serve you, here to serve this present age. Call today, toll-free, 877-885-7734. Or email info@brianklewisfuneralhome.com.
I'm getting ready to do a series called Before You Crash Out, starting Sunday. And I said so I wanted to crash out yesterday in the phone store. I was at the phone store for 4 hours.
4 hours?
Yes. So this is the third time this phone has gone out. I got the flip, not the flip, the fold.
Right.
And 1 year went out in the middle, then it went out in the front. Now my front screen was out. And before, and I'm not going to name the company, they would send me a phone.
Right.
I had so many days to send my old phone back and transfer my data.
Right.
Well, they've stopped that. You have to go they send the phone to a facility. I'm trying not to say the name.
Mm-hmm.
And then they transfer it. Phone is almost full. They tell me it's going to take a couple hours.
Right.
I go yesterday during a slow time,
mm-hmm.
and the guy says, I said, can I leave it here? Do you have a place to lock it? Because, so I lock my phone. This will be a good space for you. I don't like leaving my phone with anybody.
No, absolutely.
And
absolutely
when you're talking about transferring it, so they connect everything up.
Right.
I then run over to get me something to eat, and he said, come back at 50 because sometime, now this is 3 o'clock, come back at 4. Because sometime it finishes early.
Wow.
I go, make sure it's locked. So he said, can you give me your code to your phone?
Oh, no.
I said, heck no. I said, absolutely not.
Oh, no.
I said, I have banking information in there, and all of my life is in there. No. So when he gets ready to do it, he says, oh, by the way, you may lose all your messages. I said, stop the transfer right now.
No.
I need some of those messages as evidence.
Absolutely.
And insurance.
Do not get rid of the messages. Those are receipts.
I got 11 years, 12 years of messages in that joint. When you take your phone to the shop, do you leave it? Come up to a mic. Come on. Get on. We got a camera phone.
Yeah.
Do you leave your phone? How do you feel about leaving your phone? Oh, you taking a long time. How you feel?
No for me.
It's a no?
Yeah, it's a no.
So you stay there?
I'll do it myself.
They wouldn't let me do it myself.
I would have figured it out.
No, I didn't have the other phone. They wouldn't let me take the other phone because it was an insurance claim. So basically, I have insurance on my phone. So I wasn't like buying a new phone where they give you one. I had to stay right. So now that the thing goes blank, I go get something, I come back, they look, it's still saying an hour and a half.
Oh, no.
So they say come back at 7 o'clock.
Oh.
I lock my phone again. So because I'm like, he was like, well, if you leave it, we can keep checking. I said, I'm not leaving my phone. So here's what he says. Oh, well, it's against the law for us to look at anything. I said, this is what I looked at him and said. I said, sir, it's 2025. People get ripped off every day. I'm not. I leave, go to Sam's, come back. It's now 7:15 at night from a 3 o'clock start.
That's crazy.
When they open my phone, no, she says, oh, here, everything's all set. How do you know? You can't see my phone. I open it up, half my apps are not there. And it said disconnected from transfer. I said, ma'am, look. So they start to transfer again, and now I just sit there for the next 40. No. And it's 50%. And so this is where I want to crash out. Guy comes up to me and says, well, we close at 8, so you're going to have to come back and finish the transfer. I said, so you're telling me I've got to leave? I said, I'm not leaving my phone. And he said, no, you could take the new phone, but it won't happen. But you got most of your stuff. I said, absolutely not. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. This store, they start closing the blinds and all that. I didn't care.
You might as well. You know
what I was thinking? God is my witness.
You might as well call the police.
On everything I am, I was thinking, the police, Amherst police coming today. Because by the time they get here, my transfer should be done.
Right.
And then, but you're going to have to take it. Remember that movie that said, Meet the Parents, when he said, you got to take this out of my something little hands?
Yes.
That's how I felt, and I felt like crashing out this week. But I didn't. I held on. So this series that I've been studying for is going to help. Did you have a crash out moment that you wanted to crash out? Anybody have a crash out moment?
Oh.
Okay, y'all thinking about it. I had another crash out moment.
Wow.
And that's when a truck tried to run me off the road. My daughter came in from Houston the other day. Her plane got diverted to Rochester. At 2 o'clock in the morning, I had to get up and drive to Rochester.
Oh, no.
Now, I asked JJ to pick her up, but he said yes, but he's 18. So when I sent him the text, because we text from room to room, which I said I'd never do, and said, are you up? And he didn't answer. I thought he might be too sleepy. He's a youngin'. I can't put him on the road.
I was about to say.
I was going to put him on the road. I'm tired. I used to put you on the road when you was 16. Matter of fact, sometime before he got his license, which was wrong.
Yes.
Which was wrong.
Wow.
But so I'm like, I can't put him on the road. I go, we coming back. I'm in the slow lane, doing the speed limit. And I was in the Tesla, so the car was basically driving itself. Mm-hmm. So it's maintaining the speed limit. Truck comes up behind me, start flashing his lights in the slow lane.
Oh, yeah. No.
Bruh.
Move.
Move over to the left.
Move, fam.
So I don't move. He goes in front of me and comes right in my lane and hits his brakes.
Oh.
Okay, I did crash out a little bit.
He brake checked you?
He brake checked me. So, okay, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. I need this series myself.
Yeah.
I get in the middle of the road and just put on my high beams. So then I'm like, I get myself together. I don't crash out, and I just do like 80 to get way ahead of him.
Yeah.
Do you know when we got close to Buffalo, he gets behind me and does it again?
Oh, no.
Now he must get on the CB, and they block me in. So another truck comes up, and they start doing 40. And I just started laughing because I got in the middle again.
Yep.
But I didn't crash out. I didn't cuss. I just did. Yep.
I will say.
Crash out moment?
I will say. I did, speaking of driving, I don't really have a crash out moment. I'm still celebrating the highs of the birthday.
Okay.
But Floridians really can't drive. Driving down there.
Oh,
listen, there was moments on the highway and in the streets. I literally felt like this was bumper cars. Like they just like if you're coming,
absolutely.
If you're on South Beach, they just turn off a side street.
Yes.
It just no care. You're on the highway, they just move over. No
absolutely.
turn signals. I was like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Just let me know.
Yeah, absolutely. When crash out moment. Did you have one or did you permit?
I had one last night actually.
Last night? Care to share?
NFL debut. So everyone that puts in tickets, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I had a couple of bad tickets last
night.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Oh yeah, he had a couple parlays that didn't hit. Yeah, he had a couple parlays.
But that's by chance, right?
Yeah.
So you had a little crash out.
It'd be like the smallest thing that'll stop you from winning.
With the biggest payout.
Like literally, like it could be like 1 yard short.
Oh,
you don't lose like a crazy amount of money, but it'll stop you from winning.
What was the amount that you lost?
I put 10 cents.
10 cents
to make $15,000.
What?
Yeah, no.
Like this is on
that's one of
a national on the app.
Yeah, that's one of those good parlays. 15 legs.
15 legs.
How many of the 15? How many of the 15?
I don't understand any of this.
I hit on like more than half of
of them. Why didn't you cash out? Yeah, that's risky. He should have cashed out. Now, I will say there was a national crash out moment last night to start the game. To start the game last night. So right after opening kick, one of the Eagles players, the star defensive player, spits on the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
What?
So at 14 minutes and 56 seconds in the first quarter, you get your first 15-yard penalty and an ejection. Jalen Carter.
Wow, he spit at him.
Yeah, on camera. Like they're like, if there's anybody you should not spit on.
Okay.
It's the starting quarterback.
Here's the question. Here's the question. We're getting ready to go. What is the one thing that makes you crash out? What one thing that you got to pray not to crash out? Anything?
Stupidity.
Yeah,
okay.
Like dumb stuff.
So the thing that makes me is people who are ungrateful and like you do for, and then they just like, so we get your tree cut down, but now you complaining because that just makes me want to crash out. Like the people you've done something for, and then they just dog you out.
Yeah,
that makes me want to crash out.
I can understand that.
So this series, before you crash out, I wish I could preach it and then go down to the pews and say amen to me and then get back up and then go back and forth because I really need this.
Well,
series.
You know how this is going to work. Every week you teach it, we're going to be tested. All of us are going to be everyone's going to be tested on the crash out.
Yeah, because I'm going to try. I'm trying to be better because, I don't want to just, So anyway, it's been a wonderful show. Don't crash out before you crash out. Start Sunday at True Bethel. Until next week, power to the people. What was that?